I remember it very well. In the morning of that day in 1985, there is a blonde-haired, tall European lady, standing outside my office door poking her head in. She asked, "Can I talk to you now?" After I nodded, she immediately dashed in. Turned around and closed the door behind her. She said in a very exciting tone, "You're good to go. The thing you mentioned yesterday, you can do it." From that moment on, my whole life just got a lot brighter. Just like the song, It's a New Dawn. For convenience, I'll call her Miss Linda. She is in her early 30s, she was a few years older than me. She was, at the time, one of the few experts in the Canadian oil industry. Designing with computer in the 1980s was very expensive, and it required very advanced computer system. I was working with that big company in the Canadian oil and gas industry. They spent more than $1 billion each year on new facilities. In the 1980s, that's a lot of money. Our company has 3 computer-based design terminals. Each one requires a dedicated person to operate it. And every day, Ms. Linda and her team were responsible for making sure that the equipment was working properly. In addition to the salaries of operators, hardware and software maintenance, each set of design station costs $250,000 Canadian. It cost a total of $750,000 to have 3 stations set up. At the time, the average hourly wage was less than $3 Canadian. Therefore it will take an average person 130 years to pay for these equipment. Let's travel back to the day before. I asked Ms. Linda to come to my office. I placed a piece of paper in front of her. I asked her to take it home and think about it, then give me an answer as soon as possible. The paper contains a list of functions necessary for using the computer stations to do design. I want to know how close were they to the capability of the $250,000 station. Because she is the only expert among the thousands of employees in our company. She confirmed, the functions I wrote on the piece of paper were able to meet their daily design needs. When I pressed her, she replied, "That covers more than 90% of the functions we are performing now." I thanked her for her answer, and told her, "You may leave." Coming home from work that day, I immediately went to work. I designed a complete hardware, software system with output capabilities. Then I estimated the cost and selling price of the complete systems till I was satisfied. Luckily, I am an electrical engineer. At that time, I already had more than 10 years of experience in assembling electronic systems. I also had built 3 working microcomputer systems. I returned to the office in the morning a bit tired. This is the 3rd day. Ms. Linda showed up uninvited. She wants to know what I'm doing. Because I was the established go-to expert for the company, and also for the whole corporation. This includes the Husky oil bought by Mr. Lee in Hong Kong. Husky at the time was the wholly owned subsidiary of our company. Husky's chief geologist was also a direct client of mine. I thought for a moment. And said, "I have a way to use 10% of what you are spending now. To create a design platform that can meet more than 90% of the functionality of your current systems." She didn't quite understand what I meant at the time. She left my office shaking her head. Honestly, I didn't understand it at the time. That was the first time ever I shared my dream with people. Simply put, that is to spend $25,000, only 10% of existing budget to deliver the results of $250,000. Speaking of which, would you be interested in knowing what happened before this story? How about what transpired after that day? All I can promise you is, it was like a spy movie with blood and tears, loyalty and mistrust, beautiful people, motorcycles, and the biggest virtual corporation of the world at the time, and an invitation to the White House. This is the story of my experience in the AutoCAD industry and other people's stories. Creating this talking book to document the early days of a modern-day empire that did over $3.8 billion in fiscal year 2021 takes a lot of efforts. Please show your support by sharing this with others and share your suggestions with us. You may also contact me via email at gabriel@livingwellteam.com.